I was sitting in my apartment on a Tuesday evening, scrolling through wedding venues on my laptop, when I decided to check my savings account. My wedding was 6 months away, and I wanted to see exactly how much I had saved. 3.5 years of careful budgeting, skipping vacations, working overtime shifts at the hospital where I'm a nurse, all of it going into one account. My wedding fund. I logged into my banking app, clicked on my savings account, and felt my heart stop. Balance: $247.18. That couldn't be right. There should have been $22,480 in that account. I had checked it 2 weeks ago, and everything was fine. My hands started shaking as I refreshed the page over and over, hoping it was a glitch, some kind of system error. The number didn't change. Babe, what's wrong? My fiancé Marcus called from the kitchen where he was making dinner. I couldn't speak. I just stared at the screen, my vision blurring. This had to be fraud. Someone had hacked my account. Identity theft. It happened all the time, right? I immediately called the bank's fraud hotline, my voice trembling as I explained the situation to the representative. She put me on hold for what felt like forever while she reviewed my account activity. Ms. Richardson, I'm looking at your account now, she said when she came back on the line. I see multiple large withdrawals over the past 10 days. For withdrawals of $5,000 each and several smaller ones. But these weren't online transactions or card purchases. These were in-person withdrawals made at our downtown branch. My stomach dropped. In person? That's impossible. I haven't been to that branch in months. I used the one near my apartment. The withdrawals were made with proper identification and account access, she continued. Do you have a joint account holder or anyone with authorized access to this account? No, it's just me. It's only in my name. My mind was racing. Wait, can you tell me what ID was used? I don't have those details here, but I can submit a fraud claim and request the security footage from our branch. That will take 3 to 5 business days to process. 3 to 5 days? My money is gone, and you're telling me I have to wait almost a week just to see who stole it. I understand your frustration, ma'am. In the meantime, I'm freezing your account and issuing you a new card. We'll start the investigation immediately. After I hung up, I sat there in shock. Marcus came over and wrapped his arms around me, but I barely felt it. $22,000. Gone. 3.5 years of my life. Vanished in 10 days. The next morning, I called the bank again and demanded to speak to a manager at the downtown branch. I wasn't waiting 5 days. I needed answers now. The branch manager, Mr. Chin, was sympathetic but cautious. Ms. Richardson, I understand this is distressing, but I need to follow protocol. However, given the amount involved, I can review the security footage with you today if you can come in this afternoon. I called in sick to work and drove straight to the bank at 2 p.m. Mr. Chin led me to a small office and pulled up the security footage on his computer. My heart was pounding so hard, I could hear it in my ears. The first withdrawal, dated 9 days ago. The camera showed the teller window, and then a woman approached. She was wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap, but when she reached into her purse for her ID, she pushed the sunglasses up onto her head. I gasped. It was my sister, Vanessa. Do you recognize this person? Mr. Chin asked carefully. I couldn't breathe. That's my sister. That's my younger sister. He pulled up the other withdrawal dates. Each time, it was Vanessa. Same baseball cap, different outfits, but definitely her. On the third visit, she was even smiling at the teller, chatting casually like she was withdrawing her own money. How is this possible? I whispered. This account is only in my name. How did she access it? Mr. Chin pulled up the transaction records. It appears she presented a driver's license with your name and information. The tellers verified the ID and account access each time. She used a fake ID with my information? How did she even? Then it hit me. 6 months ago, I had lost my wallet at a family barbecue at my parents' house. I thought I had just misplaced it, and I reported it lost and got all new cards. But Vanessa had been there that day. She stole my ID, I said, my voice hollow. She stole my old driver's license and used it to impersonate me. Mr. Chen's expression was grave. Ms. Richardson, this is identity theft and fraud. I'm going to prepare a full report with all the security footage and transaction records. You'll need to file a police report. Can I get copies of everything? The footage, the transaction details, all of it. Absolutely. I'll have it ready for you within the hour. I sat in my car in the bank parking lot, staring at the USB drive Mr. Chen had given me containing all the evidence. My sister. My own sister had stolen my wedding fund. The same sister I had helped through college, the sister I had let stay with me rent-free when she lost her job 2 years ago, the sister who was supposed to be my maid of honor. I called her cell phone. It rang 4 times and went to voicemail. I tried again. Same thing. I sent a text. I know what you did. Call me now. 3 hours later, she finally responded. Can't talk now.
Busy.
What's up? My hands were shaking with rage as I typed back. You stole $22,000 from my wedding fund. I have you on security camera. Call me, or I'm calling the police. 3 disappeared, appeared again. Then, it's not what you think. I can explain. Can we meet tomorrow?
No.
Explain now. Call me. My phone rang. I answered on the first ring. Sarah, please don't freak out, Vanessa started, her voice high and nervous. I was going to tell you, I swear. I just needed to borrow it for a little while. Borrow? I shouted. You stole my identity, used a fake ID, and drained my entire wedding fund. That's not borrowing, Vanessa. That's theft. I know, it looks bad, but I was desperate. I'm in some trouble, and I needed the money fast. I was going to pay you back before the wedding, I promise. What kind of trouble? What could possibly justify stealing from your own sister? She hesitated. I got into some debt. Credit cards, some personal loans. The interest was killing me, and they were threatening to sue. I panicked. So, you decided to ruin my life instead of dealing with your own problems? Do you have any idea what you've done? That money took me 3.5 years to save. My wedding is in 6 months. I know, and I'm so sorry. I'll pay you back, I swear.
I just need some time.
Time? Vanessa, you stole $22,000. How exactly are you planning to pay that back when you can't even pay your own debts? Silence. That's what I thought, I said bitterly. You had no plan to pay me back. You were just going to let me figure it out, weren't you? Sarah, please. If you go to the police, I'll go to jail. You don't want that. I'm your sister. You should have thought about that before you committed fraud. I was crying now, angry tears streaming down my face. You stole my wedding, Vanessa. You stole my dream. Can we please just talk about this in person? Don't do anything crazy. Mom and Dad will be devastated if this becomes a big thing. Oh, so now you're worried about Mom and Dad? Where was that concern when you were impersonating me at the bank? Just give me a chance to make this right.
Please.
For family. I hung up. My phone immediately started buzzing with texts from her, but I didn't read them. I just sat there in my car, the USB drive clutched in my hand, trying to process the fact that my own sister had betrayed me in the worst possible way. Marcus was waiting when I got home. I collapsed into his arms and told him everything. His face went from concerned to furious. We're calling the police. Right now. I know. I can't believe she did this. My own sister.
She made her choice, Sarah.
Now she has to face the consequences. But I couldn't call the police yet. Not without telling my parents first. They deserved to know what Vanessa had done before the police got involved. So I called my mom and asked if Marcus and I could come over. She said yes, sounding confused but agreeable. Tomorrow I would tell them everything. And then I would take those bank statements and that security footage straight to the police department. My sister had stolen my wedding fund. Now she was about to learn that actions have consequences. The next evening, Marcus and I drove to my parents' house in silence. I had the USB drive in my purse, along with printed bank statements showing every withdrawal. My hands hadn't stopped shaking since yesterday. I kept replaying the security footage in my mind. Vanessa casually walking up to the teller, smiling, stealing my future like it meant nothing. My parents lived in a modest 2-story home in the suburbs where I'd grown up. Vanessa's car was already in the driveway. Of course she was here. She probably ran straight to them the moment I hung up on her yesterday. Mom opened the door before we even knocked, her face tight with worry. "Sarah, honey, come in." Vanessa said there's been some kind of misunderstanding about money. Misunderstanding? My jaw clenched. It's not a misunderstanding, Mom. Dad was in the living room, sitting in his recliner with the TV muted. Vanessa sat on the couch, her eyes red and puffy, like she'd been crying for hours. She looked up at me with this pitiful, wounded expression that made my blood boil. "Sarah, before you say anything," Vanessa started, her voice wobbling, "I want you to know how sorry I am. I made a terrible mistake and A mistake?" I cut her off, my voice sharp. "You didn't make a mistake, Vanessa. You committed fraud. You stole my identity and drained my entire wedding fund." Mom gasped. "Sarah, that's a very serious accusation." "It's not an accusation. It's a fact." I pulled out my laptop and opened the security footage. "The bank gave me this. Watch." I played the video showing Vanessa at the teller window, clear as day, withdrawing $5,000. Then the next one. And the next. My parents watched in silence, their faces growing pale. When it finished, Dad cleared his throat. "Vanessa, is this true? Did you take Sarah's money?" Vanessa burst into tears. "I didn't steal it. I borrowed it. There's a difference. I was going to pay her back, I swear. I've been in so much trouble, and I didn't know what else to do." "Borrowed?" Marcus spoke up for the first time, his voice cold. "You don't borrow money by committing identity theft. You ask. What you did is called stealing." I knew Sarah would say no if I asked. Vanessa sobbed. She's always been the responsible one, the perfect one with the perfect job and perfect life. I knew she wouldn't understand what I'm going through. "You're right. I would have said no." I shot back. "Because that money wasn't for you. It was for my wedding. 3.5 years of savings, gone in 10 days because you couldn't handle your own problems like an adult." Mom held up her hands. "Everyone, please, let's just calm down and talk about this rationally." "Rationally?" I turned to her in disbelief. "Mom, she stole $22,000 from me using a fake ID. What's rational about that?" "It wasn't fake," Vanessa mumbled. "It was your old license from when you lost your wallet. I found it in the couch cushions at Mom and Dad's after the barbecue." So I was right. She had stolen it. She'd been planning this for 6 months. Mom moved to sit next to Vanessa, putting an arm around her shoulders. "Honey, why didn't you come to us if you were in trouble? We could have helped." "Because you don't have that kind of money," Vanessa cried. "The debt collectors were calling every day, threatening to sue me, to garnish my wages. I was going to lose everything." I panicked. "Sarah has a good job. She makes way more than me as a nurse, and her wedding isn't for 6 more months. I thought I'd have time to pay her back before she even noticed." "But you didn't have a plan to pay it back," I said flatly. "You told me yourself on the phone you can't even pay your own debts. How are you going to come up with $22,000? Vanessa's face crumpled. "I don't know. I was going to figure something out. Maybe get a second job or steal from someone else?" Marcus interjected. "That's enough," Dad said firmly, but he was looking at Marcus, not Vanessa. "I understand you're upset, but Vanessa is family. We don't attack family." "She attacked us first when she stole our wedding money," Marcus replied, his voice steady but hard. "It's not like the wedding is canceled," Vanessa said desperately. "You still have 6 months. You can save up again or scale it down or—" "Scale it down." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Vanessa, do you have any idea how venues work? We already paid deposits. We booked vendors. Everything is contracted and scheduled. That money wasn't just sitting there for fun. It was allocated, budgeted down to the dollar." "So postpone the wedding," she suggested, as if it were that simple. "Get married next year instead. People do it all the time." Marcus stood up abruptly. "We're not postponing our wedding because your sister is a thief." "Don't call her that." Mom snapped, her protective instincts kicking in. "She's not a thief. She's family, and she made a poor choice in a moment of desperation. A poor choice. I stared at my mother. Mom, she committed identity fraud. She stole from me. Your other daughter.
Where's your concern for me?
For what I've lost. Of course I'm concerned about you, sweetheart, Mom said, her tone softening. But you have to understand, Vanessa is in a really dark place right now. She's struggling with debt, with depression, with feeling like a failure. She needs support, not condemnation. I needed support too, I said quietly. I needed my sister to be there for me during my wedding planning. Instead, she robbed me. Dad sighed heavily. Sarah, I know you're hurt, and you have every right to be. But what's done is done. The question now is, how do we move forward as a family? How do we move forward? I repeated slowly. Dad, I'm filing a police report tomorrow morning. That's how we move forward. The room went silent. Vanessa's face went white. Sarah, no, Mom said, her voice rising. You can't be serious. She's your sister. And she's a criminal, Marcus said. She committed fraud. That's a felony. If you go to the police, they'll arrest her, Dad said, his voice grave. She could go to prison. Is that what you want? To send your sister to prison? I want my money back, I shouted. I want the 3.5 years of my life back that I spent saving for this wedding. I want to stop feeling sick every time I think about how my own sister betrayed me. But since I can't have any of that, yes, I want her to face legal consequences for what she did. Vanessa stood up, tears streaming down her face. Sarah, please. I'm begging you. I'll do anything. I'll get a loan. I'll sell my car. I'll work 3 jobs. Just please don't call the police. I'll have a criminal record. I'll never get a decent job again. My life will be over. Your life will be over? I laughed bitterly. You destroyed my wedding and you're worried about your life being over? Maybe if you hadn't spent so much on a fancy wedding, this wouldn't be such a big deal, Vanessa muttered. I froze. What did you just say? She looked up at me, defiance creeping into her expression despite the tears. I'm just saying $22,000 for one day? That's ridiculous. Maybe this is a sign that you should have a simpler wedding. Not everyone needs a princess fantasy. Vanessa. Mom gasped, but I could see it in her face. She kind of agreed. You're unbelievable, I breathed. You steal my money and then criticize how I was planning to spend it. I'm just trying to put things in perspective, Vanessa said. It's not like someone died. It's just money. We're family. Family is supposed to forgive each other. Forgiveness requires remorse, Marcus said coldly. All I'm hearing is excuses and justification. You don't even know what it's like to struggle. Vanessa turned on him. You and Sarah with your perfect relationship and your perfect jobs. You have no idea what it's like to be drowning in debt, to feel like you're failing at everything. So that gives you the right to steal, he shot back. Dad stood up, his voice booming. That's enough. Everyone needs to calm down right now. We all fell silent. Dad looked at me, his expression tired and sad. Sarah, sweetheart, I understand you're angry. But before you do something that can't be undone, I want you to really think about this. If you press charges, Vanessa will have a criminal record. She could go to jail. Our family will be torn apart. Is that really what you want? What I want, I said slowly, is for my sister to take responsibility for what she did. She is taking responsibility, Mom insisted. She admitted it. She apologized. She said she'll pay you back. With what money? I demanded. She's drowning in debt, remember? How is she going to pay me back? We'll help, Dad said. Your mother and I will help her pay you back. It'll take time, but we'll figure it out. I stared at him in disbelief. So she steals from me, and you reward her by paying her debt? We're not rewarding her, Mom said. We're trying to keep this family together. Sarah, honey, you have to understand. Vanessa is fragile right now. If you press charges, I don't know what she'll do. I'm genuinely worried about her mental health. And there it was. The guilt trip. The weaponization of Vanessa's struggles to make me the bad guy for wanting justice. So, I'm just supposed to let it go? I asked quietly. Let her get away with stealing from me because she's fragile? I'm not saying let it go, Dad said carefully. I'm saying handle it within the family. We'll set up a payment plan. Vanessa will pay back every cent, but we keep the police out of it. And what's to stop her from doing this to someone else? Marcus asked. Or doing something worse. If there are no consequences, what's her incentive to change? She's learned her lesson, Mom said firmly. Haven't you, Vanessa? Vanessa nodded vigorously, wiping her eyes. I have.
I swear.
I'll never do anything like this again. Sarah, please. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm begging you, don't destroy my life over this. I looked at my sister, really looked at her. The same sister who used to braid my hair when we were kids. The sister I'd shared a room with for 15 years. The sister who'd been my maid of honor at my engagement party just 8 months ago. And all I saw was a stranger who'd stolen my dream and expected me to protect her from the consequences. I need time to think, I finally said. There's nothing to think about, Marcus said, frustration creeping into his voice. She committed a crime. Marcus, please. I put my hand on his arm. Just let me think. Mom looked relieved. That's all we're asking, honey. Just take some time, let the emotions settle, and then we can figure out a solution that works for everyone. But Sarah, Dad added, his tone serious, I need you to promise me something. Promise me you won't go to the police until we've had a chance to work this out as a family.
Can you do that?
I felt trapped.
Cornered.
If I said no, I was the villain tearing the family apart. If I said yes, I was letting Vanessa off the hook. I'll think about it, I repeated, not promising anything. Vanessa suddenly jumped up and tried to hug me. I stepped back, holding up my hands. Don't touch me right now. She froze, hurt flashing across her face. Sarah, I said I need time to think. That includes time away from you. I grabbed my purse and headed for the door, Marcus right behind me. As we reached the door, Mom called out, Sarah, wait. You're not going to do anything rash, are you? You're not going to the police tonight? I turned back to look at my family. My parents, standing protectively next to Vanessa. My sister, crying crocodile tears that might have been real or might have been manipulation. I couldn't tell anymore. No, I said. Not tonight. But I didn't say anything about tomorrow. In the car, Marcus was furious. They took her side. Your own parents took her side. I know. They made you feel guilty for being the victim. That's insane. I know. So, we're going to the police tomorrow, right? First thing. I stared out the window at the dark streets passing by. She blocked me on everything. Her phone, social media, everything. I tried to check after we left. Marcus glanced over at me. What does that tell you? That she's not sorry. She's just scared of getting caught. I pulled out my phone and texted my best friend, asking if she knew any good lawyers. Sarah? Yeah. Whatever you decide to do, I support you. But you know what I think needs to happen. I did know. And deep down, I knew what I needed to do too. My parents wanted me to protect Vanessa. To put family first. To let her get away with ruining my wedding because pressing charges would be too harsh. But Vanessa hadn't thought about family when she stole from me. She hadn't thought about me at all. Tomorrow morning, I would take those bank statements and that security footage straight to the police department. My sister had made her choice. Now I was making mine.